This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 408 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, Total Saddle Fit, and Fairfield Inn, Lexington. Today, we have an episode dedicated to the 2017 World Cup Finals of Dressage in Omaha. This is Reese Koppler-Stanfield from Loxahatchee, Florida.
And this is Philip Parks from Rockwood, Ontario, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show. I'm wondering how many people notice that that's a different intro.
I know, Phil. We're having some technical difficulties with Phil, and I don't normally do the intro, man. I was a little nervous, everybody.
Philip sounds like Philip sounds like he's calling in from Mars today. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of like Mars.
It is.
Oh,
it is Canada.
Instead of red
and
dirt, there's snow. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No. Well, we hope everybody is staying warm, and Jen and I will not say anything about how we felt like our temperatures were a little chilly today. But we hope everybody's staying warm, and we're glad you're here in the show today. We've got a great show, and we're still in the month of dedicating for the World Cup that's coming up in Omaha, Nebraska. And I think you're really going to enjoy this show. And we were talking with Mark West. He's the CEO of the Omaha event, and he is a lovely man and will really talk to us about what's happening there in Omaha. It sounds great.
We got Kasey Perry Glass tonight. We
got
Olympic royalty.
I was going to do a drum roll with that. So really, also, we're so very happy to have Kasey Perry Glass. She was the member of the bronze medal Olympic team in Rio, and she is just lovely. And I think you'll really, really enjoy her interview. So it's really fun. I saw her in the Publix parking lot here in Florida, and she's just so nice and lovely, and looking forward to the show. So Phil, I've got a little bit of news.
We got some Wellington news. What's going on?
I do. So I'm very happy to announce this event, and this is an event that we should all support. If we're not here in Wellington, you can still support this event. This is Robert Dover and Discover Dressage presents the American Equestrians Got Talent finale, a benefit to support the U.S. equestrian high performance programs. So this is the fund that will get our team to Europe this fall and this summer. So it's really important that we all support this. And it's Sunday, March 19th, 2017 at the Adequan Global Dressage Pavilion on South Shore Boulevard here in Wellington, Florida. Doors are opening at 6 p.m. and the show begins at 7. And you're going to be able to vote for your favorite performer, and you're able to donate. Each vote will help fund U.S. equestrian high performance programs. Vote more, donate more. And your favorite performer has a better chance of winning. You're going to text number 56512 and enter AEGT, and you're able to select your payment. You add the word performer. There's an online auction, and all the information can be found at www.aegtfinale.com. So I hope everyone can participate if you're here in Wellington, or go online. This is Robert's put in a tremendous amount of effort into this event. It's been going on for 10 weeks here in Wellington. And it's really a great way to help all of our team as we go forward. So that is an event that's happening this weekend, and
awesome.
Getting ready for.
Yeah, that's really fun. We've talked to previous. I've got to get to one of those things one time. The final sounds amazing.
Yeah, the final's fantastic, and we're really looking forward to it. So, Phil, I think you've got some, the World Cup start list went up today, didn't it?
Yep, we've been waiting. So it will be, the World Cup final will be defended by Hans-Peter Minderhout of the Netherlands. He's a two-time Olympian. He has a silver medal. He's a great rider. And he's riding Glock's Flirt, which he won with last year. We got 3 Americans competing. Our favorite, Laura Graves. Later, we're going to talk to Kasey Perry Glass, who is competing, and Stefan Peters. So a very strong group of individuals from the U.S. Isabel Worth is going to be competing. She's been cleaning up this season in the World Cup events all around Europe. Again, from Germany, Jessica von Verndal will be competing on Uni BB, and we saw that horse in Las Vegas. A very nice combination, and a beautiful horse, yeah. And they have a really fun freestyle, so we'll look forward to that. Judy Reynolds from Ireland, who competed Vancouver K at the Olympics last year, a very nice combination. So we're going to look forward to seeing that. Christy Oatley of Australia, Carl Hester, a favorite of many people, will be competing Nip Tuck. We have some names, some more competitors from Netherlands, Russia, Belarus, Wendy Williamson of New Zealand. The first dressage rider from New Zealand to compete in the World Cup will be there. A rider from Argentina, sorry. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting, and I can't wait.
I know it's going to be such an exciting event, and we're going to get right into the show. And right after this commercial break from Kentucky Performance Products, we're going to come back with Mike West. He is the CEO of the event happening in Omaha.
They had been together for years, since he was just a colt. When he got stubborn, she would gently coax him on. When he got scared, she would reassure him and stroke him gently on the neck. She spent hours building his confidence, his strength, his balance, teaching him to dance. Pirouette, passage, piaffe, the final salute. The crowd jumped to its feet and cheered. It was the moment they had spent a lifetime training for. But all she could think about was how special he was and how she loved him. This love story is brought to you by Endure Extra, providing high-fat calories, direct-fed microbials, and natural vitamin E to support optimal condition and performance. The horse that matters to you matters to Kentucky Performance Products. Call 859-873-2974 or visit kppusa.com to order today.
Well, we are really lucky to have the CEO of the Omaha Equestrian Federation with us tonight. Mike West is agreed to join us and be interviewed. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. We're very excited to share what we have going in Omaha.
Well, I think maybe we should start from the beginning. Tell us when you got involved with this FEI final competition of jumping and dressage.
Well, my boss, about 18 months ago, called me and then said she had a dream. Her name is Lisa Roskins, and her dream was to start a annual show, to eventually make it an FEI show, and to someday bid on the World Cup and receive and be granted that bid. She figured that it would take a number of times to bid before they would take her seriously. And a couple years ago, about 2.5, 3 years ago, after the first time they bid, they received the World Cup finals. And she contacted me and said she felt like the dog that caught the semi and had no idea what to do with it. And so I have no horse background at all, but I've been in sport event planning my entire life, college athletics and golf. And I took this challenge on, which is incredibly exciting because it is the first world championship or global championship we've ever hosted in Omaha. And so in professional sport. So it's just been a dream of mine to do something that nobody's done before.
That is so exciting. So tell us a little, first of all, about Omaha. Phil and I are really looking forward to coming. So what are some things that we can see in the city when we arrive and on our downtime from the show?
I think number one, it is hard to get a bad meal in Omaha. We have incredible restaurants. During that time of year, it should be very, very nice. You never know. It is the Midwest, but we have some beautiful areas downtown to walk around, shop, as mentioned, go to restaurants. We have about 5,000 hotel rooms within walking distance of the arena, and we probably have 80 to 100 restaurants within walking distance. So I think there's just a nice opportunity to be able to get around as safely and efficiently and experience our downtown area with really no logistical issues at all.
Fantastic. So do we, this is a question out for myself, I'm not going to lie. Once we're downtown, do you need a car or you can walk pretty comfortably?
I think you can walk very comfortably.
Right.
And I don't think, it is a bit of a stretch if it was 10 degrees, but you can pretty much get around anywhere. I would say a half mile to 3/4 of a mile, not any farther than a mile. And so if it's 50 to 60, 70 degrees in that neighborhood, walking a half a mile is very pleasant, especially when it's been so cold out.
Awesome. So Mike, tell us about the venue, because we've heard nothing but great things about this fairly newly built equestrian venue that's hosted quite a number of different events, maybe nothing this big, but people who have been rave about it. So I want to know all about it.
I'm glad you asked. I would say that when we received the bid, looking back and saying what took you over the edge, I think Omaha has a reputation for events. We are a hub for amateur national championships. We have hosted wrestling, volleyball, first and second round of NCAA basketball, the swim trials, and of course we've hosted the College World Series since 1947. We have a great reputation, but the building itself is phenomenal for equestrian disciplines. If you had to build a building and design it just for a World Cup finals, you would build this building. There's 3 different sections, and if you remove the wall, it becomes one big section to the convention space. It is all on the same level, so you can travel, and it just becomes one big room from Hall C all the way to Hall A. And then the arena is actually on that same level too. So horses never have to go up and down ramps to different levels. They don't have to go into tents and parking lots. All of our vendor area, all of our stabling, our educational expo, our restaurant, and all of our warm-up arenas are all on the same level. And of course, then we have a 18,000 seat arena on the same level. So they go from the exhibition hall right into the arena without changing levels and compete.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell us a little bit about kind of the schedule that will happen so that people, what do you do when maybe the events aren't happening? We've heard there's some wonderful demos going on. How will that work?
Well, on Wednesday, we have basically our warm-up familiarization for dressage, and then in the afternoon we have that's in the morning, and then in the afternoon we have jumping warm-ups. And on Thursday we have dressage Grand Prix, jumping Final 1. On Friday we have our dressage showcase, which is a number of different wonderful exhibitions. We have Isabel Worth. We have the Para-Olympic team. We have what I would call, if you remember the skating, when they started having the Olympic team from the United States go around the country. This is about 20 years ago. They called it rock and roll skating. We're trying to do a little bit of a freestyle on steroids, fun exhibition with 5 different riders performing, a little bit more of like free freestyle, I guess.
Really free freestyle.
Sounds awesome.
And we're going to do that. Yeah, we're calling that the fun freestyle. and we're doing that on Friday. And then on Saturday, we have the dressage freestyle, and we have our Grand Prix for jumping. And then on Sunday, we have the Grand Prix, or the final three for jumping final three. And obviously on Saturday and Sunday, we will crown a World Cup champion. In addition to that, as I mentioned about the convention side, we will have the stabling area in Hall C, which is the farthest north. In front of that, we have an educational expo, which is 20,000 square feet. We last year brought in 2,200 school-age children. And we encourage all children that are there, even if we don't bus them in from the schools, to enjoy that. It's an amazing demonstration. We spent over $100,000 on that area. We also have a demo arena, which will have different demos throughout the week. We have a warm-up arena that's private in the stabling area, but outside of the stabling area, we have a public warm-up arena, and surrounded by that is all of our vendors. And then just to the east of that is the restaurant. And in the restaurant, we have a stage, and we'll have bands playing all day long, mostly keyboard, jazz, soft jazz type things. And then at night after the jumping competition, we'll have rock and roll bands, and people will hang out. But if you're hanging out during the daytime, you can have a glass of wine, eat some food, watch the horses warm up, and then get up, walk 50 feet, and start shopping.
Now we're talking. This is for me.
You're speaking Reese's language.
You're speaking my language. Woo! Now we're talking.
I spoke to the dressage, United States Dressage Federation at their meeting in St. Louis. And I told them that we went all over the world and all over the United States and looked at what was the best fan experiences we could find. And I mentioned that if two American men went to a football game, they would spend 6 hours in the parking lot drinking and eating, and 3 hours in a game. Yeah. And I looked at them, and they call them, in this part of the country, they call those tailgate parties. Mm-hmm. And I said, I looked at everybody in the room, and I said, because there were 200 people in the room, and 190 of them were female, and 10 of them were men. And I said, ladies, I said, we made your tailgate party. And the whole place went nuts. They started screaming and yelling. We want the reputation of being the most fun event anybody could ever go to.
I love it.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. So, Mike, just one more question. What do you hope somebody comes home with, in their experience about Omaha? Like, what's unique to Omaha that maybe we should check out, or whether it's a food dish or drink or what am I going to experience when I go there?
Well, I would say try our food, enjoy our steaks. We have great steaks here. But I think mostly I would say that we're a metropolitan city. We have more Fortune 500 companies per capita than anywhere in the United States. We are a progressive city. We have over 1 million people metropolitan. I don't think a lot of people recognize that. We want people to experience our city for what it is. But mostly we want our people to say, you know what? This was a first-class World Cup final in somewhere new, and these two disciplines will grow in popularity if we can continue to have new cities run this way and continue to make it fan friendly so that we can expose new people to these great disciplines.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. Well, thank you for joining us so much tonight. How are people going to find more information or purchase tickets or figure out how to get to Omaha? What's the website?
Go to Omaha World Cup 2017.com, and all of your ticket information is there. You can go to And we invite you, if you have any questions, call the number that is there listing the VIP information. If you have any other information that you need, the person that answers that line can help you.
Awesome.
Fantastic. We can't wait.
Fairfield Inn and Suites North by Marriott Lexington is the ideal hotel for you, as they are the closest hotel to the Kentucky Horse Park. They have the most spacious guest rooms and suites in the area, and they're only 4 miles from downtown Lexington. Fairfield Inn and Suites North offers complimentary breakfast, free Wi-Fi throughout the hotel, free parking, a business center, an indoor swimming pool and jacuzzi, an outdoor patio with grill, laundry facilities, and much more. You get hungry, Cracker Barrel is located right next door, and there are 4 other dining options available within walking distance for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, Lexington is known for the Kentucky Horse Park, University of Kentucky, Keeneland, and the historical Kentucky Bourbon Trail. Enjoy a terrific hotel experience while you're touring Lexington. There's no denying that the Lexington North Fairfield Inn & Suites is the best value in town and will meet all your hospitality needs. Just Google Fairfield Inn North Lexington and make your reservations today.
Well, today, really, our guest really needs no introduction, and she has been so great to have on the program. Kasey Perry-Glass, she was the member of the bronze medal team in the Rio Olympics. Kasey, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to participate in this.
You are so cute. I'm not going to lie. I saw Kasey in the Publix parking lot at like 8 o'clock at night. And I was trying not to act like a stalker, but she has been so kind to come on the show. Gotta love. Well,
you are fun. I love seeing people. Like when they come up to me, it's so fun. I'm like, 'cause I think people are scared to talk to us. I'm like, no, we're really friendly. Come talk to us.
Well, you are very friendly, and I'd love to start the interview. So your horse's name, Dublé, has a very very big name, and I didn't want to pronounce it. So can you tell us the story about his name and a little bit about the horse that you have?
Sure. I butcher his name a little bit too. It's Danish, and it's Gertwingard Dublé, and it was actually really funny. I got interviewed about it, and someone asked me to pronounce his name, and I said, my horse is Gertwingard Dublé, and within that month, I think the original breeders of him posted it on their Facebook saying, at least you tried to pronounce his name. So I technically really do not know how to pronounce his name, but I try. He is a Danish warm blood, 14. And this is our second year at Grand Prix, and he's such a love bug, and he's so unique in his personality. And these horses tend to be looked at as these powerful, sport horses, but really, I got so lucky with Dublé because he's so quiet-minded and so easygoing, and knock on wood, travels very, very well. And he's just that easy horse to have around with everything. He's just special, and he's a little bit of a gem, and I'm just so lucky to have him.
So tell us the story, how you got him. How did you guys start your partnership?
Sure. I was training with a gentleman, Christophe Villette, and we were up in Spokane, Washington, and Christophe and I, were discussing with my parents about possibly going to Europe and getting, a horse to fulfill my dreams, possibly of the Olympics. And obviously, a horse like this could cost a lot of money. And so after graduating from college with a business entrepreneurship major, I decided to bring in my grandparents to help with the purchase of them. And my grandparents are very business-oriented people, and they run a very successful family business in California. And I had to put together a whole business portfolio for them, and really tell them why I want this, and kind of fight for the funding for it a lot. I have 29 cousins. And so for them to, give that fund to me for this, I had to tell them or explain to them why I deserve this and kind of go from there with them. And I got really lucky to have grandparents that just wanted to see me succeed. And so they helped funding for Dublé with my parents. And I took a trip to Europe. I was actually going to look at a different horse. And my mom said, we are not going over for one horse. So you need to, get together with Chris and make a bigger plan than just that one horse. And when we got over there, we ended up at Andres Helgestrand. And I just saw horse after horse after horse after horse. And Dublé was the last horse that came out of that group. And he looked hot. He looked, just really special. And I sat there and I was like, Mom, I don't want to get on that horse. He just doesn't look right to me, right for me. And she said, we did not come all this way for you to not get on this horse. So I got on, and within 5 minutes, I had the biggest smile on my face. I still have the recording of it. I have the biggest smile on my face, and I just started like, oh my gosh, Mom, you need to buy this horse. And I looked at Chris, and that was really the only horse he didn't get on that trip either. And I told him he needed to put his breeches on and get on that horse. And I mean, from the first ride, I knew he was something special. And I think that's how it should be. You should be able to get on these horses and know exactly which one is yours. So from there, we vetted him and brought him over. And once he got to the States, we had a family champagne toast for him and our journey together. And it's just been a roller coaster since then.
Oh, I bet. So tell us, I mean, last year you had an amazing Florida season, right? Then you go to Europe, then you go to Rio. I mean, tell us a little bit about that whole journey.
Sure. I went to, backing up a little bit, I went to the Pan Am selection, the European trials for the Pan Am team. And that's when I started, right after that, I started training with Debbie. And, I just give that woman so much credit. She is so knowledgeable and so educated in the sport and so fair to these horses. And she got me, on the right track. And she got me going from the small tour to the big tour within a year. And then going to the big tour to being on the selection trials for the Olympic team, and then being on the Olympic team. Like, it's just, it was a huge year for us. And with a big year like that comes a lot of ups and downs. And it's not always, glitz and glamour. There's always some kind of downfall to the journey. And I just have such an amazing support group that, because we went through some training, bobbles here and there. It was his first year at the Grand Prix. So you can expect that even in your second year and your third year. So, it was so awesome to be a part of that team and to be a part of Shelly, Laura, Allie, Stefan, Tooney, Gunter. The whole group was just so fun. And it was a fun year, and it keeps going.
Yeah. So. What was Rio like? What was it like to ride in the Olympic Games? I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think once we got there, it was there was a lot of press at first, and we were allowed to be around our horses, but we got pulled away for a lot of things, and we lived off venue. So, and the traffic was really bad for most people, but not for the athletes. The athletes got pretty much their own highway, but it still took at least 20 minutes to get to the venue where the horses were. So for a group like us, who all of us love to be around our horses literally all the time, it was hard not to be around them. But we had great grooms that took care of everything for us. And my sister was my groom, and I trusted her wholeheartedly. And the venue was beautiful. It was huge. It was very horse friendly. The barns were big. The stalls were big. The water was really good. They came around and tested it to make sure everything was still going good while we were there. And we had a place for the horses to graze. And the only tricky part about the barn experience was that the grooms had to pick the stalls and put everything in trash bags and in trash cans. And then they would leave the trash bags at the end of the aisle, so that the huge aisle leading to the arena that you would have to go out to the arena was filled with like black trash bags. And it was windy some days. And so our horses were like, it was hard for them to kind of get used to the black trash bags everywhere. But yeah, the actual stadium was so pretty, and it was very inviting for the horses. And the footing was great. The way that they had the warm-up arena systems were really fun. And we all had our select times that we could go ride in like a certain arena. So not everyone was in one arena, so they utilized all the arenas, which was good.
Wow. What an experience. I just can't even imagine. Like, it sounds so cool. So now it's amazing. So you came back from the Olympics. I'm sure you needed some downtime to get, and then now you're on your way to the World Cup, right? How did that happen?
Yeah. Well, we all got home, and there was some downtime for the horses, but Stefan, Allie, Laura, and I, we traveled a lot for like USDF convention and Central Park, and we wanted to make those appearances, especially because we had such a big support group back here with all of our dressage, fans and supporters and all that. We wanted to give back to them. So that was a lot of fun, but it was also, we didn't really get to like rest a lot because we were traveling. And so actually when I got back to Florida in November, I gave Dublé probably from November, December really off and just stretching work. And he never really got put back together until the very end of December. And we started building strength for our first show, which was the five star. We just kind of jumped right in and did the 5-star. And this year again, we have our little ups and downs in our training, but Dublé is such a great character that he just goes with the flow, and he's so talented, and I love him so much to where I know that we're going to make it through it. And I just had an amazing 2 rides these last 2 days. And so to build up for the World Cup is, we're really focusing on that Grand Prix test so we can get a good spot for that freestyle. And, he's just getting better and better. And that's why we're taking things slow with him, because last year was a big shove in his face a little bit. So, we just want to make sure he's healthy in his mind.
So what was the World Cup a goal of yours, to be able to go to Omaha while it was in America and to compete? Or was it just something that, was a happy coincidence, or that you were getting the scores that's good enough to allow you to go? What was the plan for this year?
It was a goal, especially because it was in the States. I think if it was in Europe, I would have focused more on the national championships and probably not have gone to World Cup. But since it's in the States, I really wanted to do it. And it's one of those things where I kind of let our rides decide for themselves. If we say we went out for the 5-star and it just wasn't right, I wouldn't have kept competing him. I would have went back to let him have a little bit of space and figured out training stuff. And, but, you know, he keeps telling us that he wants to go back in there and wants to keep competing. So, I really wanted to push for Omaha. Why wouldn't you? It's home. It's it's home. So it's a good time for, you know, my family to come out and watch and see us live, because they don't really get to do that. And so it was definitely a goal for this year.
I love it. So now what happens? Omaha, it's in like 2 weeks now. So what's kind of the plan leading up to Omaha?
So the plan is, I've had a couple lessons this week, and then I'll probably work a little test work next week with Dublé, and then earlier in the week, so that he can have a little bit of downtime before we ship out on the 27th so in 2 weeks, week and a half. Oh my gosh, it's coming up really fast.
Yes, I know.
I have to get all my like my tack trunk packed by Monday, so that it can go on the hauler up to Omaha, or over to Omaha. So I have to get that packed. And so it's gonna be a jam-packed couple weeks. But we fly out on the 27th, and then we get a little bit of arena time on the 28th, and then the jog is on the 29th, Wednesday, and then Thursday is the Grand Prix, and then Saturday is the freestyle.
I know, we are so excited. Philip and I cannot wait to cheer you on from the stands, and we're so looking forward to seeing you live, and it's going to be such a great trip. And we wish you both, and Laura and Diddy, a very, very safe trip from Florida. And Kasey, we can't thank you enough for your time tonight. How can our listeners find you online?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me again. I really appreciate it. You can find me on either my business page, which is on Facebook, which is Kasey Perry Dressage, or on my private page, Kasey Perry Glass. And I also have my website, which is KaseyPerryDressage.com.
Fantastic. Well, we can't wait to cheer you on, and have a very safe trip to Omaha.
Great. Thank you for having me.
This week's dressage training tip is brought to you by Total Saddle Fit, home of the shoulder relief girth, at TotalSaddleFit.com.
Well, Jen, you have a fantastic Total Saddle Fit tip of the week from one of our listeners. And as always, feel free to send emails and Facebook shout outs. Jen is the best at gathering them for us, so we always have one to chat about. So Jen, what's our listener question of the week?
I feel like I just stick my hand into a great big pink top hat, and there's all these little bits of paper folded up, and I just pull one out and see what I get. This one
awesome.
is
I love it.
This one actually came in via the Horse Tip Daily Facebook. I got a message, and it says, "Dear HRN, I have a training question for Reese and Philip. I just got my first real dressage horse. He competed at 3rd level with his previous owner, but I'm going to be riding at 1st level this year. My previous horse was very stiff, not forward, and basically not a dressage horse." And she emphasized not. "So I'm used to pushing my horse all the time. Any suggestions to help me transition to my new and very forward horse? Thanks, Marie Cameron."
Well, Phil, I can start with this one. I think,
I'll throw it to you first.
Yeah, so I think the first thing that I always tell someone when they get a new horse, you have to remember it really takes a full year to get a full partnership with a horse. And that is, it's not only just handling that horse in the barn, but that's also riding. And everyone has different experiences that they bring to a new horse. So one of the things that I always tell my riders, and same thing for this listener, is she's ridden to 1st level. And so she needs to ride at the level that she's comfortable with, and be comfortable with everything that's in 1st level. So leg yields, lengthenings, 10-meter circles, she should have a lot of confidence riding that horse to that particular level. And that's what I always tell people. Ride to the level that you know. And then once you're very comfortable at first level, and I think somebody says, oh, I bought a third level horse, I should be able to ride third level. Oh, it doesn't work like that. And it takes a very long time to kind of speak the language. You both speak a different language, essentially, and you have to learn a similar language. So I always tell my riders, like, take it slow, and also think, okay, I'm proficient at first level, and that's what our listener said in their question that she's ridden first level. So take your pack off and think, I need to ride that horse to first level and the things that happened at first level. And it sounds like her new horse is very different from her old horse in the sense of this horse is very forward. And I love forward horses. I mean, I kind of like a rocket ship. But rocket ships have to do two things. They have to go forward and they have to stop. That's really incredibly important to remember. Just because this is a forward-thinking horse doesn't mean he should be running off with you. So it sounds like I would spend, a good amount of time, 3-6 weeks, working on just basic responses from this horse. And once you get that, and once you're comfortable with what you're already comfortable with, not half pass, not flying changes, then you can move on to those higher level movements. But take your time. It's really important to sort of think you're going to go slow and get your basics and your rhythm, your regularity, your relaxation, your connection before you go fast, before you do all the fun things at a third level. Take your time and get the basics correct, and then you can move forward from there. So that's my biggest advice, and that's for any horse that you purchase. Take time, do basic work until you're really ready to rock and roll, and then you guys are speaking the same language and you can do the higher level things. So that's what I got, Phil. What do you think?
I think that when you're riding a new horse, you also have to think about how you have to adjust maybe some position things, to help that horse to do their job as best they can. So if you're going from a slow horse to a forward, use lessons or some no stirrup work or whatever it takes, that you're comfortable with going forward as well, so that you don't turn your new horse into your old horse, who maybe you're more likely to be holding onto the bit or being stiff in your own body, causing that horse to just not want to go forward anymore and to shut down. So I think that's the most important thing here, is let the horse go forward, adjust mentally and physically to the idea of going forward. And then from there, just a lot of transitions to say, this horse is going really forward. I just want to check my brakes all the time, do lots of halts and then go right off forward again. So I think I see that a lot as somebody who is, is transitioning to a new horse, and then all of a sudden they're kind of making their new horse like their old horse, which sounds like in this situation, maybe we don't want to do. So, accept the new beautiful energy that you have and learn to go with it. And yeah, I mean, you might have to be working a lot harder on the on the more forward horse than the old slow pokey horse, but that's okay. That's part of learning, and why maybe you purchase this horse is that it's more developed in a dressage way that can help you to obtain achieve goals of riding third level or doing competing and doing better, or just having more fun doing dressage. So don't grab the bit, allow the horse to go forward. You might have to sit up a little bit more. You might have to work your core muscles a little harder. That's part of it as well. That's my 2 cents. I
like it.
Hopefully that helps.
Good job. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and good luck with your new horse. It's so fun to get a new horse. It's such an exciting thing. So we wish you all the best, and keep in touch with us and let us know how it's going.
This tip was brought to you by Total Saddle Fit, the shoulder relief girth that Reese and Philip both love. And here's why.
The saddle fit solution you have been waiting for is finally here. TotalSaddleFit.com is proud to introduce the Shoulder Relief Girth. This strategically shaped girth actually moves the girth line of your saddle back over 1 inch, thereby freeing your horse's shoulders from the saddle. Traditional girths pull saddles up against a horse's shoulders and often over the top of the shoulders. The Shoulder Relief Girth's recessed ends allow for the billets to buckle into the girth farther back to give your horse unparalleled freedom of motion. We are so certain that your saddle will fit better and your horse will be more comfortable that for a limited time we are offering a 30-day, 110% money-back guarantee. If you are not totally satisfied with your shoulder relief girth, send it back for a full refund plus 10% of the purchase price. Don't wait. Order now for the best saddle fit solution available
at TotalSaddleFit.com. Visit TotalSaddleFit.com.
Well, as always, you can find our show notes and links to today's guest on our website, dressageradio.com. Like us on Facebook, just search Dressage Radio Show. Follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
You can find me best probably on Facebook, and my email is philip@horseradionetwork.com. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week for allowing us to put on a good show. And don't forget to check out all the other shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. And hopefully next week I'll be talking to everybody from Verden, Germany.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's going to be great. And we also, just as a heads up, Philip and I, we don't exactly know the place that we're going to have the listener meetup, but on Friday, March 31st, during the Dressage Showcase or during one of the events, we're going to do a listener meetup in Omaha, Nebraska. So we hope that we get some listeners to come meet us and hang out. And it sounds like there's a tailgating. Mike will tell us a little bit about that here in the show, but I think that would be a lot of fun for us all to get together and get a picture and meet in person. So please come and do that. We would really have a great time. Well, everybody, keep your heels down and your shoulders back this week, and we look forward to talking to you next week.